Hello everybody, I'm here once again for another review on not just one game this time, but three. So this video we're talking about Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight, Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight. So we're going to jump right into number 3 as I explain how I feel about this game and these games as a whole and just discuss it as I go along here. So, when I first started playing Persona, right, I played Persona 4 first, then 5, then 3. And around when I was getting into these games, I looked up stuff. I do this about every game series I get into. I just look up stuff about the game, and I find stuff like the spin offs, for example. And the dancing games were a bigger spin off because there's three of them. So, the first one that came out originally was 4 on the PS Vita. And then later, I believe it was in 2016. No, it couldn't be. It was 2018. They had Persona 3 and 5 dancing. And those have a similar style, whereas 4 is more unique and different because of the first one. And I think they had more of a budget having just one game dedicated instead of splitting. I'll get into what that means later, but basically 3 and 5 are like two halves of one game, different theming and whatnot, but you'll see what I mean. So basically, we're just going to start off with Persona 3, go in order. So I think this one is actually my favorite, and the reason for that is not because Persona 3 is my favorite Persona game, and that's what it's based off. It actually used to be my least favorite. But this game actually helped me appreciate these characters more before Reload came out, because I never really super loved them. I never hated them. I thought they were fine. But in comparison to like 4 or 5, I didn't like them as much. But how this game works is there are, as you do the dances, right? I'm not even going to get into the main gameplay yet. As you get into the dances, you unlock these social events right here. And the more challenges you do of a certain thing, you get more of these, right? So I think there's 8 per each of them. And every time you do a certain challenge, you unlock more. And then you get to view each character's interaction, and they interact with other characters / your main character. And the challenges are basically, these social event things are basically your progression in the game. So by doing these challenges through the game is how you progress. And basically, I mean, these games are meant to be platinumed on the PlayStation. There's no reason not to. Not only is it fun to do, it's very simple to do, very satisfying to do. It's like checking off boxes on a list. It's super duper satisfying. So how the main gameplay works is you have a song list, right? And there's easy, normal, hard, and then you unlock all night. So each character has they have tracks for each of them, and it's just based on songs from the game. So this game has a collection of Persona 3 songs, I believe Persona Q, Persona 3 Portable, and Fez. So it has a nice selection, which I will go into a little bit later. And so basically each character, these are all choreographed dancing moves, by the way. I don't know if they're actually, what's the word? Motion captured. But they're really well animated, at least. They look very satisfying. They move around a lot. And yeah, all the songs in this game are super duper catchy. Even just these mixes of these songs I like a lot, and they have them on Spotify and YouTube Music you can just listen to, and I find myself doing that a lot because they're very good. And I think that's the main reason why 3 is my favorite. I like the song selection the most, right? And when you're playing a game about rhythm and dancing, you're gonna want to like the songs the most, right? That's the most important aspect of it. So that's why I think 3 has the best, not only variety, but the mixes and songs that they chose, I think, are my favorites of all 3 of them. And that's why I think it's the best of the 3. But it's very easy to say that someone's favorite could be 3, 4, or 5. They're interchangeable. It's all a matter of preference and how much you like the style and songs of that specific game that's based on. So also how this works is there's 3 rankings. So as you can see here, there's the base one. You can fail it. There's stage clear, brilliant, and All Night. No, King Crazy is the highest difficulty. I mean rating. And the way to get all those is if you miss too many notes in a stage, you don't pass. If you get enough to pass, you stage clear. If you get enough to have a really nice combo, a high score, you get brilliant. And then in order to get King Crazy, you have to get no goods. You have to get either all perfects and all greats with no goods. And you obviously can't miss any as well. And how this works is the dances, there's the choreographed ones, like I said, we'll have a character doing it with sometimes another character. But then there's one that's just a video, which are kind of disappointing because it's less choreographed, less interesting to watch. Even though you're not totally focused on watching these when you're playing the game, because it's very hard to focus and concentrate otherwise, you're very much looking at the buttons on all sides. So just to show a little example of how this gameplay works, is you'll see there's these 3 buttons on each side, and what it'll be is this will be use the D-pad and the 4 buttons on the front of your controller. So it's up, left, down on D-pad, and then triangle, circle, cross, and then these little rings in the middle. You can either use the stick or the bumpers to press, which are the scratch notes. So basically, you're just trying to hit the notes to the beat. Is how you play the game. So the more notes you hit, not only with better timing, but with a higher combo, the higher score you get. And the higher score you get, the better rating you get, and the better rating you get, the more challenges you get completed, more social events you unlock, and that's how you progress in the game. It's extremely satisfying to do. Not only just do it once, but to do multiple times is very fun. You wouldn't think it is, because you repeat some things a lot, but it's actually very fun to do. And that's why I like this game a lot. It's way better than I thought it would be. It's a simple yet effective thing. The dancing games work very well with Persona games because of the music is so good. And you just get to jam out while matching your rhythm to the beat by pressing these buttons. Is very satisfying overall. So that's about all I got for Persona 3. And I'm going to get into 5. I mean 4. Why did I say 5? So 4 is the first one out of these 3, and it's the most different. So this game actually has its own story mode, not just dancing and progressing towards a little achievement checklist, which is still satisfying, by the way. But this story, I like how they tried to give it one. It's very in line with the theme of Persona 4 and how it runs and works. But I don't know, it kind of is the same thing with Persona 4 Arena if I ever make a video about that. It's just kind of there. It's not necessarily bad, but it kind of drags on. I'd say this is actually better than Arena's story because you don't have to play it through multiple different people's perspectives. Once you go through it, you only see it one time. So yeah, it's not too bad at all. It's more content, so if you like the game like me, it is a benefit. Although you just kind of see dialogue like in a visual novel representation, kind of like something like Ace Attorney, and then it'll do a dance. And then it'll go back into the story. So for these kinds of games, you're not really looking for the story. You're just trying to play it for the gameplay, which is really fun to do. So that's why I didn't really care about it much. But if you want more content and the content that is there, this one has the most out of the 3 for sure. But where I feel like Persona 4 dancing is weaker than the other 2, or at least 3, is the music. There might be, I'm pretty sure there's more songs, but the songs that they pick, they use like multiple different mixes of the same songs, I feel, too often, instead of using different songs completely, which would have had better music variety overall, like Persona 3. They use more different ones than they do the same ones. But there is a good amount of songs available, and overall, I think they are good. But there is like straight up some that I just don't really like that much. Unlike 3, where I pretty much like all of them a lot. But this one has bangers in it, like Specialist. If it wasn't for this game, we would not have that beautiful mix. But that was also from Reincarnation of Persona 4 soundtrack. That has nothing to do with it. They just put it in this game, but the reason it's popular is because of this game. It's a little mean. But anyway, I'm getting off track. So overall, I'd probably say this game is my either second or third favorite of the 3 because of the song selection. Like I said, it all revolves around that. I feel like overall that's the most important part because you're listening to the music and doing it to the beat. But yeah, overall, I think it's still pretty solid and good overall. Now moving on to 5. Oh, I also forgot to mention that instead of getting a higher score and unlocking stuff through challenges, every time you get a higher score in this game, you get money, and you use that money to unlock these items instead of doing it for the social events on a checklist. You just have to use the money to unlock them. But it works pretty much the same way, it just has a little more flexibility. So whatever you prefer is better or worse, that's up to you. And now we're moving on to 5. So 5 is, like I said earlier, is like the other half of Persona 3 Dancing, because Persona 3 and 5 Dancing came out on the exact same day. Classic Atlas move. So they're both $30, so in total they're $60, not including DLC. But one is obviously themed around 3 and 3's music, and 5 and 5's characters, so whichever one you like more, like maybe you like the style of 5's music more, maybe you like the style of 3's music more. It's probably going to influence which one you think is your favorite. But I think, even though I really love 5 and its soundtrack and stuff, I still like 3 more, because since this only came out in 2018, it suffers from not having the Persona 5 Royal songs, which adds a lot. Like, you don't think about it too much, but Persona 3 and 4 Dancing were made after they had their re-releases, which had more music for them, obviously. So that's why there's more variety and more to go off of. But this game only had, its source material, Persona 5. So there wasn't really much to work with. So they just had more mixes of said songs. And I think they probably could have chose better mixes or better songs from this one game. But yeah, there's less to draw from. But yeah, overall, this game is literally like the exact same layout as 3, as you'll see. It's just the Persona 5 version. So, like I said earlier, whichever one you prefer is the best. But yeah, same thing goes for this one. Easy, normal, hard, just like all the other ones. Everything's the same. Go for different ranks. It's exactly how 3 works. It's not towards money. You're just trying to get the social events with different characters. So if you like these characters more, you get more of those social events, then you'll probably like this game more. But like I said before, the 3 mixes and the songs they choose for those, I think, are better than the ones they choose in 5. Although 5 still has good ones, just less good ones than 3 had. But overall, all 3 of these games are a fun time. The way I got them is they were on sale on the PlayStation Store. You can get all 3 for $16, which is super cheap, because normally you buy it new, 3 and 5 are $30. And then 4 you can't even buy separately unless you got the Endless Night collection, which was $80, which is ridiculous, right? They're good, but they're not that good. So getting them on sale the way I did was perfect. $16 for all 3 is great. Not including DLC, but the DLC is kind of a scam anyway. I don't know why they always have to have one DLC in these Atlas games. My biggest complaint that I always have is just why. But other than that, overall, all good. So I'd rate Persona 3 9 out of 10. 5 is still a 9 out of 10. And Persona 4 Dancing, probably also a 9 out of 10. They're all solid. If you like rhythm games, if you like dancing games, you'll like this. If you like the Persona games, you'll probably like these as well. Especially if you like the music like me. So overall, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, let me know. Leave a like if you thought so. Leave a comment telling me what you think. And yeah, that's all. Thank you.